That's why I walked around Sunday with my arms like this, ready for the handcuffs. I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen. That we would be sued for all kinds of terrible things, that the Times would be found guilty and pay such enormous fines, and the impact on our ability to do business, and all kinds of things. Terrible, terrible things.
You interviewed Sulzberger from the New York Times. What was he thinking when all this is developing and he suddenly has access and knows his paper has the Pentagon Papers?
He had been told by the Times' historic lawyers, Lord Day and Lord, who included Herbert Brownell, who had been Attorney General for President Eisenhower in the 50s, that the publication of these documents would constitute a violation of the federal criminal law, in addition to being unpatriotic and bordering at least on the layman's version of treason. And so if he went around later in time saying, I actually thought I was going to go to jail, I think he had a good reason to believe that he was going to go to jail. They were also worried about civil liability. They were worried about the FBI breaking into the Times and collecting the documents or going to court and trying to get a prior restraint to stop publications.
What's going on inside the New York Times when they're debating whether or not to publish the Pentagon Papers?
They had been actually warned by Jim Goodale, who was the in-house general counsel at the Times, that although Jim did not think that the publication would violate the criminal law, he did think the government would have a plausible claim for getting a prior restraint. And in response to these opinions from their lawyers, Lord Day and Lord and Jim Goodale in-house, the Times actually took the whole preparation of the study out of the Times building and secretly rented rooms in the Hilton Hotel, a whole suite of rooms. And over a period of days and weeks, they slowly moved out the reporters and the editors that they needed to prepare the 10-part series to the Hilton Hotel. And kept the whole pre-publication process secret, even within the Times.
What was the inside counsel to the New York Times thinking about as they came to publication?
There was a huge fight within the Times over whether or not the Times should publish not only a news report based upon the government documents, but selective portions of the documents so that the public could see that the news reports actually were grounded substantially in the documents themselves. And Mr. Sulzberger was so conflicted about this matter that he did not make a decision about allowing the Abe Rosenthal, who was the editor-in-chief at the time, to publish the documents until Friday, June 11, 2 days before the series was beginning to run. So on Friday, the Times goes ahead, and Sulzberger, I think, is going to London, so the Times prepares itself to go ahead and publish it on Sunday, and they did.
I was struck in reading your book that when the news broke and the Pentagon Papers began to be published in the New York Times, folks at the White House were caught off guard.
Sunday was quiet. No, they didn't have to go back to the lawyers. Monday was quiet. They didn't have to go back to the lawyers. Monday night, they get a telegram from the Attorney General and said, if you don't cease and desist, we're going to sue you tomorrow morning in federal court. And it's at that moment that the Times calls Lord Day and Lord. And it's sometime on Monday night, June the 14th, 1971. And somewhere around 10 or 11 o'clock at night, Lord Day and Lord tells the New York Times through Jim Goodale, we're not going to be there tomorrow morning. So at that moment, he has to find another lawyer.